Goodwin. Harding. Hug. Melton. Rowe. Festerson is absent. Mr. President.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for opening remarks by Councilmember Melton.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please, everyone, have a seat. Thanks, and it does, I think every year, it is my turn right when school starts. I usually am the one giving the opening speech at the meeting. And I give the same message, I think, almost every year. School has started. There's going to be a lot more kids walking around, walking to school, out on the streets. We were just talking about speed limit signs, that we were hoping to have more of those, what your speed is, installed. I think you allocated money, you and Brinker allocated money to that last year. But slow down. I know we all have places to get to. We got meetings that we have to be on time for. But I would just encourage everyone to pay attention to your surroundings and pay attention to all those kids so that we don't have any accidents this year as we see all the kiddos go back to school. So thank you very much.
An affidavit of publication is on file, and a current copy of the Open Meeting Act is posted in a white binder on the east wall of legislative chambers.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this meeting of the Omaha City Council. As a courtesy to those in attendance and to facilitate the conduct of our business, we ask that you please silence or turn off all electronic devices. A reminder that you will have 3 minutes to speak on an agenda item. Please stay on topic. If you would like your comments entered into the public record, you can email the city clerk's office at cityclerk@cityofomaha.org. The council members receive these emails and we read them. Finally, council members may ask members of the audience back up for clarifying questions, but not for extra time to speak.
Item 6, to consider a Class CL liquor license for Big Grove, Omaha, located at 4601 Catalyst Court, Suite 1002, A's Communication and Support.
I'll open the public hearing on item number 6. Is the applicant here today? Mr. Levy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the council. David Levy, Barrett Home Law Firm, 1700 Farnham Street. With me is Mike Weir with Big Grove Brewing. This is a very exciting project. This is the Big Grove restaurant and brewing operation in the Catalyst building there on Saddle Creek in conjunction with the UNMC Edge District project. Mr. Weir is here in case you have any questions. We're happy to answer whatever you might have. Otherwise, we'd appreciate your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents here today on item number 6?
Hi, Mike Weir with Big Grove Brewery. I'm the Chief Operating Officer.
Good to meet you in person, not on the phone, Mike. Thanks for being here. What's your address, Mike?
40 Rainbow Court, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, 52403.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other proponents here today? Seeing none, is there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Council discussion. Mr. Harding, you're recognized.
Yes. I don't know, Matt or Ryan Wiesen, if he could come down.
Yeah. Ryan Wiesen, Deputy City Attorney.
I think so can you explain kind of what happened with this? I think the State Liquor Commission has already turned this down, correct?
Yes, Ryan Wiesen, Deputy City Attorney. My understanding of what has occurred is that the Nebraska Liquor Control Commission has already issued a final determination on whether or not the license should be issued, and then they have denied the license. Normally, what should happen from a procedural standpoint is that the applicant should be submitted to the Liquor Control Commission. That application should then be forwarded to the local governing body, which is the City Council in this case, to issue a recommendation on whether the license should be approved or denied. And then once that recommendation is returned to Lincoln, to the commission, that then the determination should be made. For whatever reason, it seems like that didn't happen in that order in this case, and that the commission has already issued a determination on the issue and denied the license. And so I don't believe that there's really anything for the council as the local governing body in this case to provide a recommendation on anymore.
Okay, I'll get to that in a second, but can you explain if you can, do you know the reason it was denied at the state?
My understanding, and again, I wasn't there, based upon the order that was issued, is that the applicant qualifies as a manufacturer, and not only a manufacturer, but an out-of-state manufacturer. And that under the Nebraska liquor statutes, there's essentially a three-tiered system that distinguishes between manufacturers in one category, distributors in another category, and retail license holders in a separate category. And generally, those three aren't allowed to mix. And because the applicant qualifies as an out-of-state manufacturer, they're ineligible to hold a retail liquor license in the state of Nebraska. I think under the Liquor Control Act, they can hold a manufacturer's license in Nebraska, but that would be a separate application that is not in front of the city council today. The only thing that's in front of the city council is their application for a retail class license to sell direct to consumers. And again, it's my understanding that the commission has already denied that.
Has already denied
The retail
the
application.
retail application?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Levy?
Yes, thank you, Councilman.
Yeah, I guess, so I'm sure you're aware that the state had already turned it down, and really, as Mr. Wiesen said, I think any recommendation from the council at this point is, irrelevant, really.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with what Mr. Wiesen said in terms of the facts. It's an awkward situation. We disagree with the Liquor Commission's interpretation of the statutes. We are currently trying to determine exactly how to go about dealing with that, whether it's to seek a different type of license, to take a whole different approach, how exactly to address the Liquor Commission. So it is an awkward situation. I am new to this project, so I apologize for not having delved into this further with you all before the meeting. We would ask that the council make its recommendation so that we have that as we deal forward with the Liquor Control Commission. Again, I understand you're in an awkward position. We're in an awkward position. It's an awkward and a difficult situation, but and candidly, we did talk about whether to come forward with this, ask for a continuance, whatever it might be, and we decided to try and get this part of the process done. As Mr. Wiesen said, it is occurring out of order, which makes the situation, a difficult situation, more difficult. The Liquor Control Commission is looking at certain things. The council, of course, is looking at other things, more land use, neighborhood, in my experience, those kind of things. So we do respectfully request that you act on it and that you approve it. If you would choose or not be comfortable to do that, we would ask that you continue it so that we can continue to try and figure out what to do. And if we get to a point where things are sorted out and this particular application is more clear as to the council, we could come back.
Okay, so I would probably suggest, again, since the commission's already, any recommendation we give at this point is, they've already made their determination, whether, you and your client agree with that or not, that's, for you
Right.
to decide at the state level, I think. If we were, I'll ask the clerk a question then too. If we were to, or Ryan, if we were to place this on file, that could be brought back up at any point in time, correct? No?
Ryan Wiesen, Deputy City Attorney. If we were only operating under the city council's procedures, I would
Yeah,
say sure,
but
in
I
theory,
forgot
that's
it's
correct.
with the- yeah.
But under the Nebraska Liquor Control Act, the local governing body has 45 days to
Right, we have
consider.
limited time.
And I think that's the best course of action in this case.
Is to place it on file?
Yes,
Okay.
because at least my interpretation of the statute would be that the 45 days doesn't matter anymore because they've already denied the license.
Yeah.
If it were to matter and you were to place it on file, at most that would happen is it would be returned to Lincoln with no action taken by the local governing body, which I would not think would prejudice the applicant at all. And so I think that would be the best course of action, the one that I would recommend for the council, just from a purely legal standpoint. I don't think it would prejudice the applicant going forward. It wouldn't prejudice the applicant from returning to the council for consideration of a different license, if that were to be in the cards in the future. And it would preserve the council's ability to act according to the statute and the law and to make appropriate recommendations to the Liquor Control Commission.
Okay. I guess I'll make that motion then to place this item on file.
Got a motion and a second. I got a couple questions, Mike, if you're back there, Mr. Levy. You heard what our council said today, and Mike, it's good to meet you here in person. We've talked on the phone several times. Driving up Leavenworth Street, the billboard not on one side but both sides is the Big Grove is opening soon, maybe in the spring. And here where we're at, I guess let me just tell us why you chose Omaha. Go through a couple questions I got for you.
Yeah, just so you guys know, we are a craft brewery out of the state of Iowa. We've been a craft brewery since 2013, and have had a little bit of success. We've got 4 different tap rooms in the state, and are taking our first venture outside of the state of Iowa. And we looked across the Midwest and Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, and felt that Omaha was the best next step for us. I think we've had a lot of success in Des Moines, and I think that Omaha at times feels like a bigger version of Des Moines, where if you go to Chicago or Milwaukee, it feels very different, and trying to find the right real estate. We believe heavily in community impact projects. If I was to show you guys a picture in a slide, which I think will be past our 3 minutes, you'll see that we always do rehabs, and that we do take buildings that are going to be torn down or just in dire repair, and come in and make an impact in the neighborhood and the community. And we've got a strong giving arm that gives back to our partners in the local area, and so we felt like Omaha was the right spot for us, and thought we could operate underneath the craft brewery laws that are within the state.
And how many, you and I talked earlier, how many people do you plan on employing when you get rolling?
Yeah, we our business usually operates about 120 to 140 people. We've got a 10,000 square foot restaurant with a 7,000 square foot patio. If we get to open, this would be the coolest place that you guys would come and enjoy a beer. And I think those jobs are important. I'm here for orientation. If I could be honest, I was back here in May doing all the interviews and hiring when some of the stuff happened with the Liquor Commission control. And so, we've been on delay for a little while, waiting on a pending decision, and a little bit in construction delays as well. But this has really been going on since March. And I think why we're here today was, if we were to get a different relief from the commission, to be able to get a license granted fairly quickly, as we're almost 6 months into this process. And we've got we've invested $5.5 million into Omaha at this point in time, and liquor and beer is a big part of the plan. And getting your license at the very end is tough, because you read these laws and you think you're well within compliance, and then you're told you're not, and trying to find solutions.
And I know I live about 3 blocks from here, and when you are up and running, I'll be your biggest fan. I'm so excited that you did choose Omaha. The district I represent is the heart of Omaha, Midtown, and it's a great location. You mentioned it was an Omaha steel plant. It got a lot of good union jobs decades ago, and to see that location with Catalyst and the Big Grove rebirthing that, I want you to know that I'm fully supportive of you, of your business, but with council advising us, we have a motion and a second to place it on file. I want you to know I'm supporting that, not because I'm against you guys. I'll be the first one walking across the street to come over when you're up and running, but the NLC action preceded what we can do here today, and we don't want to be in violation of that act. And I don't want to do anything to hurt you got good counsel here, Mr. Levy, on your proceedings, whatever you choose to do going forward. But that's the recommendation we got. I'm not supporting that because I'm against you. I want you to know that. You got my number, you can call me. And I am looking forward, I wish you the best of luck in your legal proceedings. And I hope it gets resolved and you get open, because it's just a great location. You've invested the time to look into that location in the city. So
we
did you have
appreciate
any
it,
questions?
totally understand and appreciate the council's time today. And we'll take our next steps, and hopefully I'll be enjoying a beer under the patio this fall. So.
And Mr. President, I just say thank you for what you said, and thank you all for the time as well. And I apologize that this is an awkward situation that we find ourselves in. Again, I'm brand new to this particular project and trying to get my arms around it, and appreciate you, as best you can within the law, giving us some time to try and figure this out. And As Mike and others have said, this will undoubtedly be a great project for Omaha and for that neighborhood, and we just need to find our way through the legal maze, and we will.
And there's other lights on. My last comment is, don't feel bad. I know you're a smart attorney. I don't feel as ill-informed now because I thought, what the heck is going on here? I sat down with Ryan, who gives great counsel to us, and Miss Butler here, our clerk, and they haven't really seen, it's kind of an awkward thing, so I felt a little better understanding the mechanics and knowing our recommendation to place it on file. It's not to hurt you, it's to hopefully it keeps it moving. So with that said, Councilmember Melton, you're recognized.
Thanks. Well, we have other craft breweries, and so I don't know, Ryan or Mr. Levy, I'm not sure. How do the other craft breweries get their licenses? I mean, I'm just curious as to, I understand that under our law that there were the 3 types of licenses, but don't we have other craft breweries that are operating here in?
Ryan Wiesen, Deputy City Attorney. Yes, kind of. I think they're not termed craft breweries, it'd be like microbreweries, and so the distinction in this case is volume of production. And I think it's 20,000, and I am unsure of the unit of measurement, whether it's 20,000 barrels or gallons, but if you're above that threshold, you don't qualify to cross those tiers. If you're under that threshold, then you can have a microbrewery or a microdistillery like a cross strain.
That's exactly what I was thinking, upstream and cross.
Under Nebraska law as it currently stands, they're too big for that essentially. And this is that ability to kind of like cross all of the tiers to be a manufacturer and a distributor and a retail and sell directly to consumers. It's kind of a recent development in the law that probably has only occurred over the past 10 years or so as the prevalence of
Ryan,
these.
can you hold on one sec? We got a technical issue. Do you need to reboot?
Reminds me of the 70s when we used to have to do that to watch TV.
I'll hold one, and that'll.
All right, that's better.
Sorry,
Okay.
Ryan, please continue.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that's okay. So there's a difference between a craft brewery and a microbrewery, and it has to do with the amount that they produced.
Well,
I'm trying to figure out what the difference between their Big Grove and we'll just use is it Cross?
cross it. Yeah.
Cross.
And I don't have, and I'll step aside if somebody has a better answer in a second. I don't have the updated definitions from the Liquor Control Act in front of me. A craft brewery is, I think, a term that we all use just in general. I don't know that it's a defined term under the Act. And so again, there's a specific type of distinction between manufacturers, and it's based on volume. And if you're below that threshold, and again, I think it's 20,000 of whatever unit of measurement, you qualify as a manufacturer and you can't cross through the tiers. If you're under that volume, the law allows avenues for you to start crossing into the other tiers.
And you didn't create the statute or pass the statute. We understand you're the messenger of the law right now, right?
Yeah. And it's not something that we normally deal with. We don't normally deal with manufacturers. We deal with generally retail classes, entities that are allowed to sell direct to consumer.
Okay. So, I guess to me, are we thinking that we need to have a change in the statute in order to allow this? My fear is how long is it going to take them to be able to get a license, or are there other options for them to be able to get the license?
Sure,
Feel free, just state your name and address.
I'm Christina Kamler. I'm with Baird Home as well, and I've been helping Big Grove also get their licensing through or try to. The big hiccup in the Liquor Control Commission is in regards to the barrelage that is produced. The commission has adopted an interpretation that holds Big Grove's production out of state in that definition of whether or not they can be a craft brewer. However, Big Grove has disputed before the Liquor Commission whether that's an appropriate interpretation, because the definition of a craft brewer is 20,000 barrels on the premises and on the licensed premises. And we are arguing that the licensed premises here would be the Big Grove facility in the Catalyst building, which is going to produce less than 1,500 barrels of beer.
Okay, now I've got.
Yeah.
So it's
So the-
basically they denied it based on what they
Out-of-state
produce in
production.
Iowa.
Correct.
Not
Correct.
what's being produced at this location in Omaha.
Exactly. And so there
Oh.
is a legal dispute, and
Okay.
we're trying to figure out how that dispute will be resolved. And so that is part of why we want the city of Omaha to adopt the resolution today, because if we are able to further work on that dispute with the interpretation that the Liquor Control Commission is giving that specific provision, we'd like to be up and running and ready to go from a city perspective.
I don't know that, I don't think it would matter, timing-wise, the clerk may correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know that giving it today would make any difference since it was already denied. And I don't think we can give a recommendation based on what the commission has already done. Even if I maybe agree with your interpretation of the law, I don't think that that's council's prerogative. I don't know that we should be doing that.
I absolutely agree with you on that point. It's more of a, we have an argument to make with the commission or with judiciary or, some other governing body in regards to how that law is interpreted. And we just want to make sure that we don't run into issues if we are able to overturn the Liquor Control Commission's interpretation. We'd like to just have this ready to go in the file, if you'll agree, from a city perspective.
And just to confirm, I'm glad we're having the discussion, because now it's really elucidating why this is unusual and awkward and confusing and all of those things. So thank you for the questions. And I want to confirm my understanding. By placing this on file, if we get to where we want to get with the Liquor Control Commission by some means, we could come back fairly quickly and come back and get it back on the agenda and have an action. Is that
I'm
correct?
going to look to the clerk since I'm up. I don't, is that?
Yeah, so placing
Correct.
it on file, what will happen is it will eventually run for that 45 days, and then the Liquor Control Commission would approve it had they met all the inspections and everything. So it really doesn't affect it either way.
Ryan Wiesen, Deputy City Attorney, I'll interject. I don't know that it would come back to the City Council, and I don't know that it has to. I mean, as we have been up here many, many times before, the local governing body is a recommending body only. So if the applicant goes down to Lincoln and appeals under the Administrative Procedures Act, and the Lancaster District Court reverses the appeal of the commission and says the license should not have been
Then they get
denied, they don't need to come back to us necessarily. And there have been many times where this council has recommended denial, and the Liquor Control
Yes.
Commission has been approved. So
That's true.
It's not, we're recommending body only. There's not another procedural step that would be like, if the commission were to be reversed and then decide we're going to issue the license now, it wouldn't be another requirement that the lack of a local approval would hold anything up.
Well, and I don't think we could, I mean, I think the motion that probably, especially when I heard from President Begley, is saying we would approve this if we could. And so, I mean, I don't know if that's, we either have to vote it up or down, right? It's a recommendation or place it on file. It's yes or no. I mean, but I would like to be on the record as stating that I would approve this. I mean, if we hadn't had that ruling come down from the Nebraska Liquor Commission, then, I would vote yes to approve it. And I think is that what you're saying you were wanting, is the city council saying, but for the Liquor Commission's decision, we support this liquor license?
If I may be direct, I think the motion that is on the table at the moment is within the law, as we all think we understand it, the best thing you can do for the project. So I appreciate that and would ask for your support for that motion.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to make sure of, that it was clear today that I think at least the majority of us support the liquor license. And so we're going to place it on file with that statement, I think, being clear.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, I have nothing.
Thank you. Councilmember Harding.
You can go. That's fine. I was going to say about the same thing.
Okay.
Go.
No further lights. We had a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you for bearing with us.
You guys appreciate it. Thanks.
Item 7, to consider a Class C liquor license for Nana located at 2229 Leavenworth Street, Building 2.
I'll open the public hearing on item number 7. Is the applicant here today?
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the council, David Houghton, 2804 South 87th Avenue, here on behalf of Nana LLC, doing business as Nana, which is located at 2229 Leavenworth Street in Building 2. This is a new application on an old application from 23, which this body approved. There was an issue at the commission level over the corporate structure, and the license was at that time denied. My client thinks that they've gotten that corrected, and if the council would have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And my client, the applicant Bianca, is here as well to answer some questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents here today on item number 7? Seeing none, is there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Council member Hug, you're recognized.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 8, to consider a Class C liquor license for Class A Codigo located at 3350 South 143rd Plaza.
I will open the public hearing on item number 8. Is the applicant here today? Please come down.
Good afternoon. My name is Luis Garcia, and I'm here with the Team Classic Código at 3350 South 143rd Plaza. And I'm here to get a new license for this new place. It used to be Applebee's. Right now it's going to be mostly Mexican food.
Okay. Thank you. Is there, you here to answer any question if there's any? If there's any further question, I'll call you back up. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, thanks for being here today. Is there any other proponents here today? Seeing none, is there any opponents on item number 8? Public hearing is closed. No lights, get a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 9, to consider a Class D liquor license for La Mexicana y Mas located at 1603 Vinton Street. A's communication in opposition.
The public hearing on item number 9 is now open. Is the applicant here today? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Alfredo Ramirez, owner of Ramirez Market LLC, DBA La Mexicana y Mas. I'm here to answer any questions you guys might have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other proponents here today on item number 9? Seeing none, is there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Hug, you're recognized. Motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 10, to consider a liquor license addition application for Alpine Inn located at 10405 Calhoun Road to add an irregular shaped outdoor area with covered building.
Public hearing is now open on item number 10. Proponents, applicant, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, members of the council. My name is Dan Dittman of Erickson Cedarstrom, representing 10405 Calhoun Road, Inc., also doing business as the Alpine Inn, and we're here to answer any questions regarding that the council might have.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents here on item number 10? Seeing none, is there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Motion.
Second.
And a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 11, to consider a liquor license change of location for Tipsy Sisters to be located at 12100 West Center Road, Suite 905.
Public hearing is now open on item number 11. Applicants, good afternoon. Proponents, I'm guessing.
Hello, my name is Misty Anderson. We are here on behalf of Tipsy Sisters LLC for a change of address at 12100 West Center Road, Suite 905.
Thank you. Did you want to give your names as well?
I'm Leslie King at 1020 South 200 Street.
Debbie Johnson at
Your address.
Your address. Your home address.
home address. Oh, 3903 Platteview Road, Bellevue, Nebraska.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents here on item number 11? Seeing none, any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Motion and a second. No further lights. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Items 12 through 15 can be considered together for North Streams located northeast of 204th and Q Streets. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. Items 12 and 13, ordinances to rezone this property from AG District to DR District and R4 District. Item 14, a resolution to approve the final plat. Item 15, a resolution to approve the subdivision agreement.
The public hearing is now open on items number 12 through 15. Mr. Jobin, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the council. Larry Jobin, 11440 Weston Road, appearing on behalf of the development and the developer. This is the second phase of the North Stream subdivision. It's 112 single-family lots and one lot being a park. And so with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. It's just north of northeast corner of 204th and Q Street.
Thank you. You're our technical expert. Hold on. Do we need to pull those apart again? It was working fine till you got up here. Maybe pull them apart.
Oh, well then.
All right, you're hired.
Sorry about that.
Thanks, Larry. Is there any other proponents here on items 12 through 15? Seeing none, is there any opponents? You're fired. There are no opponents. Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Items 16 through 20 can be considered together for Hooks Subdivision Replat 1, located northeast of 56 and Francis Streets. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. Item 16, an ordinance to rezone this property from CC District to R5 District. Item 17, an ordinance to approve a PUR overlay district. Item 18, an ordinance to approve an amendment to the future land use element of the city's master plan from industrial to low-density residential district. Items 19 and 20, resolutions to approve the preliminary plat and final plat.
Public hearing is now open on items number 16 through 20. Applicants, good afternoon.
Hello, Mark Detliff with Earhart Griffin Associates, 3552 Farnham Street. On here for the development of 6 single-family homes at the northeast corner of 56 and Francis. I'm here with the developer.
Matt Kornizel, Sierra Homes, 2320 South 156 Circle, Omaha, Nebraska 68130.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents on items 16 through 20? Seeing none, is there any opponents?
I'm Jeanette Vandeveer. I live at 1415 South 84th Street in Omaha, Nebraska, and I own the property at 2047 South 55th Avenue. And I'm not opposed to the rezoning. I am opposed to the schematic that was sent out as to the number of houses that are proposed for this location. I saw that there were 6. As a realtor, I think that's overkill on that corner based on the demographics and the layout of the neighborhood. I think it would be more appropriate to just limit that to 4.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other opponents on items 16 through 20? Public hearing is closed. Do you want to answer that question in respect to the number of houses?
Yeah, I think part of it is price point of properties. As former past president of Metro Omaha Builders Association, we've been partnering with the city and their affordable housing plan and trying to redevelop some of these areas. Obviously, currently now it's zoned for storage units or industrial type uses, and we didn't feel like that really fits that neighborhood as it's surrounded by houses. And so as we've been kind of as MOBA, as part of MOBA, we've been working with them on, trying to bring some denser housing, getting some price points that the workforce can bring into that Midtown area. And so to do that, obviously the denser housing is really needed.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Harding, you're recognized.
Mark, the 6 lots, are those on the south side, or which 6 lots were being referred to?
On the northeast corner of 56 and Francis.
3 of them face 56th and the other 3 face 55th Avenue, I believe it is.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
We have no further lights. We need a motion. Motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you.
Item 21, a resolution to approve the Ames Industrial Park 3 Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project Plan located at 3828 Ames Avenue in an amount up to $90,000.
The public hearing on item number 21 is now open. Mr. Seaton, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Don Seaton, Omaha City Planning Department. This project involves a vacant building on the northeast corner of 39th and Ames. It's been a long vacant building, not a terribly attractive site at present. The existing building will undergo a comprehensive rehabilitation and become commercial space, which will be used for vehicle maintenance, repair, and storage by the Spencer Management business. The developer is Ames Industrial Park. That's what we're looking at for the rehab. Back out a little bit. Developer is Ames Industrial Park LLC, managed by Justin Moore. Total investment on this site on Ames is in the neighborhood of about $845,000. The TIF support requested for the project is $90,000. Project meets the required criteria of our TIF program. It's an appropriate land use for the area, and it complies with the goals of the city's master plan. And we ask for your approval.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents on item number 21? Seeing none, is there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilmember Goodwin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Seaton, I had a few questions, and you may have mentioned this. Will the zoning here stay commercial, or is it going to industrial? What is the zoning for this?
Don't recall what the current zoning is. It's in my staff report.
Okay.
Director Fanslaw, do you recall the current zoning, or whether it's been up for rezoning for entitlements?
Councilman Goodwin, I'm looking right now.
I ask because sometimes, and I know clearly there's a physical improvement here. Clearly there's a physical improvement here that's happening, but how sometimes commercial and industrial spaces are managed on the front footage of a place like Ames Avenue is important. So that's really the purpose of my question.
I see. Oh.
Yeah, it's currently
It's
zoned.
definitely going to be an improvement of the streetscape of Ames Avenue. Ames Avenue hasn't always been a very attractive corridor, but it's been improving quite a bit over the last decade, and this will be another step in the right direction, I think. I'm sorry.
If I can add,
Yeah,
Dave Fansel, City
Mr.
Planning, it's
Fansel.
currently zone GC.
Okay.
We are going to require that the MCC overlay be applied to this, so it'll, any rehab to it will meet the urban design standards that we have
Okay.
for new development along
And you
major
said
corridors.
You said that's overlay as which?
It's an overlay, zoning overlay district, yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you bet.
Thank you. No further lights. We have a motion and a second. Motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Items 22 and 23 can be considered together. Item 22 is a resolution to approve the Little Bow Village Mixed-Use Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project Plan located north of 14th and William Street and northeast of 12th and William Streets in an amount up to $7,323,090. Item 23 is a resolution to approve the Little Bow Historic Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project Plan located northwest of 13th and William Streets in an amount up to $868,950.
The public hearing is now open on items number 22 and 23. Mr. Seaton.
Yes, good afternoon. Don Seaton, Omaha City Planning. These two items together represent a large, ambitious, and potentially transformative project for the Little Bohemia area. The Little Bow Village project involves 5 sites near 13th Street and Williams Streets. These 5 sites are a large mixed-use project with multiple new buildings, mostly new construction. It's also a companion piece then to the historic TIF, item 23 on your agenda, which involves the rehab of 4 historic buildings. In total, the Little Bow Village TIF project will have 155 market rate residential units and about 9,250 square feet of commercial area. That's the Little Bow Village. There will be 58 parking stalls developed within the largest apartment building. That apartment building is 114 units, so it'll have 58 parking stalls inside. The developer, depending on on-street parking for the remainder of the parking. He is seeking NBD zoning, which is Neighborhood Business District, which has has no parking requirements. The developer is Silver Bowl Holdings, LLC. That's a Clarity Development entity managed by Tom McClay. For the Little Bow Village TIF project, the total investment in this part of Omaha is a little more than $34.3 million. The TIF support for the project is requested for the project, $7,323,090. Both of these items have been approved by the TIF committee and the planning board. Both are coming to you for your approval. I'd like to talk maybe a little bit more about the Little Bow Historic TIF project. Sorry, I kind of had these set up for separate presentations. Involved 4 sites, 4 historic buildings. There'll be 1 addition in there as well. In addition to the 155 residential units of the Little Bow Village TIF project, there'll be another 5 residential units mixed in with, which largely a commercial project here. Again, there's 4 historic buildings being rehabbed. Total number of square feet of commercial retail space in the Little Bow Historic TIF project is 24,741 square feet. Same developer, managed by Tom McClay. The historic portion, the historic TIF project is a little more than $6.2 million in total project costs, investment in the neighborhood. The TIF support for the historic TIF requested is $868,950. And again, both of these have been reviewed by the TIF committee and the planning board, and they come to you with a recommendation for approval.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents on items 22 and 23 here today?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Tom McClay, Clarity Development Company. I'm here with my co-developer and partner in more ways than that, Colleen McClay, my wife. Here in
Tom, your address also.
What's
address also, please.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
I should know by
You're
now,
nervous
right?
with Colleen next to you.
Who wouldn't be? 1323 South 12th Street, Little Bohemia, Omaha, Nebraska. Colleen, likewise, can address for her. We're here. There are 2 projects somewhat interweaved: Little Bow Historic Rehabilitation and then Little Bow Village. These are the best and most important projects I've worked on in my 20 years of development in Omaha, and they have been a long time coming. South Omaha neighborhoods have not received the attention, the development that the central core of Omaha has received, as we've all seen, I've been a part of, and happy to be a part of it. This is now time for that development to start to move south and north, as we all know. I started acquiring properties down in the South Omaha neighborhoods 19 years ago. I was 6 years old. I assume you don't believe that, but with the belief that South Omaha neighborhoods were going to rapidly improve. It's been 19 years. We were able to do one project before a lot of the construction and interest rate issues and the pandemic, of course, which stalled a lot of development. But other than that, there has been some development starting to leak south, but not enough, in my opinion. This desire and this intent even goes further than that for me, I guess, personally. This is a 1979 Omaha Sun article that my uncle, who's an architect in Omaha for 50 years, passed on to me before he passed away. This is my grandmother, of course, then probably figured out, my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather. She was born at 33rd and F Street, which was a family farm that was settled in 1854 within a few days of the July 4th, 1854 day that the Nebraska Territory was open for settlement. She was one of the first, perhaps the first, new resident of their home that they established there in 1854, and then my great-grandfather immigrated from Ireland in the 1870s. This article from 1979 was about efforts to bring the South Omaha neighborhoods up. The new South Omaha comes alive. This has been going on since 1979. Trying to bring the South Omaha neighborhoods up, and we're still waiting for it. Hence the reason why I believe this is the best, the most important project I've worked on in 20-some years. Likely the reason it's the best is the team that we've worked with. I'd like to introduce you to Bruce Yoder, who's our architect, and he's going to give you a little insight on our thought process with this project.
Thank you, Tom. Bruce Yoder, 1x2 Architecture. I'm at 522 Bellevue Boulevard North, Bellevue, Nebraska. I'll get this back up here. Just wanted to take a moment just to walk through the project. I know Don already did a great job just talking through all the big figures, but really high level, what we really wanted to do with this project, and just talking with Tom on his vision for this, is keep the scale down as we're going down this William Street corridor. So we're really reviving these two buildings, the Donut Stop, as well as the Golden Goose, which I know the name is gone. I think Postal Annex was the last name of it. And develop a small one-story addition just adjacent to that, a 3-story apartment building next to that, rehab the 2 existing historic buildings with a small addition, just in order to keep all of the things like toilets and everything meeting accessibility. And then a small 2-story brick building here on the corner to kind of anchor these 2 corners together and bring back some of that historic character. From some of the photos we found, there was kind of an angled corner, 2-story building right here on the corner previously, before it no longer stood there. And then as we turn the corner here down 14th Street, this is the podium building, but what we did here was really developed 8 walk-in, walk-up units just right here. So they'll have little front porches. You'll walk right into it. For all justification, it'll look like some little row houses there. And then we pulled it back behind these existing structures here, which will remain. And really the only other presence, just working with planning and zoning, is this 60-foot wide strip right here of the rest of the podium building, which is the parking garage with apartments above. And that has resident entrances, garage entrances, everything like that at that point of the building.
Thanks, Bruce. I was going to ask Sydney Shinost, who oversees all of our property management, to give us a little insight onto the way she encouraged us to design the housing. As I know you all have heard many times, Omaha's in desperate need of more housing. We are upwards of 30,000 short of units of housing. The type, the design, the style is important to meet that, and Sydney, with her depth of experience, is really been an incredible asset for us.
Sydney Shinest. I'm at 1323 South 12th Street. I've had the opportunity to work with Tom just over 3 years, so I do work with Clarity Development. This is a super exciting project. I have roughly 20 years in developing residential multifamily mixed use, anywhere from the city of Omaha to city of Lincoln, Des Moines. I've been everywhere. So this project is super exciting. When we did Little Bow Bungalows and Flats, we had great feedback from the residents. They love the area, they love the walkability, they love the community. That project has done really well for us. We average 98 to 99% physically occupied. It does very well. We get a lot of feedback from the traffic that we do get that wants to know, like, are you building more units? Is there going to be more down here? How soon can I get into an apartment? We have a wait list. So a project like this is very exciting for us. It's something that we can talk about. It's something that the residents that are in our current units can look forward to, especially from an amenity standpoint, bringing more into the community to allow more walkability. It's huge for us, and it's always really exciting to be a part of offering housing to people that are looking. So, thank you.
Thanks, Sydney. The neighborhood, as we have been trying to acquire properties to have some scale, important to development is to have a little bit of impact that we tried to do, but we try to do it in a very thoughtful manner. Bruce had some discussions about the multiple buildings. We did not want to overwhelm the neighborhood with one big, huge building. We actually have built multiple buildings, as Bruce showed you in that site plan, throughout the neighborhood to interweave better and keep the historic elements. There is the historic buildings Bruce had mentioned. These buildings date from the 1880s. We refer to them as the 1880s buildings. This is as deep in Omaha history as you really can get that actually is still standing. There are 4 houses here as well. They date from the 1890s. Every real estate folk I've ever talked to about these projects has told me to tear them down. It's not particularly efficient to try to save this history. But I just, giving you a little bit of my history that I have, I didn't want to tear down some of these last little bits of Omaha history. Instead, we've worked very hard. Bruce and his partner Matt have been remarkable architects in this process to find a way to efficiently interweave some density, some scale, some housing that Sydney has talked to you about, that we have done at 12th and William. So we do know there's a market. We do know this is a desirable product that folks are looking at. When we started acquiring things down there, the use of them was maybe not ideal for the neighborhood. This is 14th Street. This is 14th and Briggs. This is one of the locations where the property we are going to be developing. Self-storage. That's what this area is zoned for right now, general industrial. That's what we get when we have disinvestment in the neighborhood, which is really what's happened since 1979 probably. That's been a driver for us, is to find and get to a higher and best use of things. This is a 1950s picture from, this is 13th and William Street. You see the goose? This was the golden goose from the 50s. There has been some folks in the neighborhood who have indicated they have questions about why we're developing, or how we're developing, and parking. Of course, the one thing that always comes up with people. To create wonderful urban neighborhoods, the ones that people want to go to, you need to create some density, some mixed uses. That's what we're doing with this. And it's entirely appropriate for this neighborhood with its proximation right next to downtown and its history. This neighborhood was a very dense neighborhood, mixed use, represented as you'll see here in 1950, all along there. This was the original location for the Bohemian Cafe. You can kind of see the Piggly Wiggly and even see Bohemian Cafe there before it moved to its subsequent location south of William Street. That is the donut stop. That is one of the buildings that we are looking to redo. Of course, as I mentioned, this is the Golden Goose that become the postal workers, also one of the buildings that we are attempting with your consent to rehabilitate, bring back. This wonderful street wall still exists there. Where, I kept it here. Here's where we're trying to go to. We're trying to bring that wonderful street wall back. We're trying to bring the street wall back onto William Street. This is the Goose. This is what the rehabilitation looks like as we're hoping and moving forward to do. Don had mentioned an addition on that. This is a 3-story building of apartments. It's all residential, fronting William Street. I should add, too, it's been wonderful working with the planning department, trying to achieve these things of a street wall, of this urban neighborhood, of these special spots. That is, again, we didn't want to overwhelm. We kept the building to 3 stories. We didn't go 5, 7, 10 to really overwhelm the neighborhood. This then continues on with the 1880s buildings that we'd save. This is a art studio that's presently there and will stay. And then this piece, I'll show you the next slide, is a corner building, which is residential and commercial on the ground floor. As I said, the neighborhood is old. This is from 1913, is the estimation that I was told. This is now looking from 14th Street to the east. This is what we describe as the 1880s buildings. This is then the post works, the Goose building in here. We try very hard to then continue that street wall, bring back some of that sense of history. This was a Czech parade, as I'm sure a lot of you know. It was a Czech neighborhood back in that era. Here's then where we're hoping to take it. Bring back that street wall, bring back that history, what was there before. This is a ground floor commercial space. These are apartments above it. And then this is where Bruce had mentioned the townhome type of style to bring more context to the neighborhood, more character and what it used to be. And then this is then an additional building that is in the back there that is additional housing, bringing some energy to the neighborhood and yet still not overwhelming the neighborhood. That then there is along 14th Street. The new construction piece is what we refer to as Lobo Village. The historic elements here, the 1880s buildings, is what we refer to as the Little Bow rehabilitation. I guess you probably may go without saying, but I'll say it anyway, TIF is desperately needed for this. We would absolutely be unable to do anything like this to create housing without tax increment financing here. One thing that the last project I'd spoken with you all about, 27th and Leavenworth, we ended up with an enormous amount of building underneath the surface that we had to dig out, that we had to replicate, which of course you don't encounter at in the fringes of the city, in places of virgin farmland that you have to dig up. This neighborhood has had that, but then there's also a lot of environmental issues we have to address. Our environmental engineers have grave concerns about things that leached into the property from elsewhere. These were residential and commercial, you'll see here, but there has been over the last 30 or 40 years environmental concerns. We did do work where that self-storage was. We do know, we did have testing there, we do know there's environmental issues underneath there that we will have to remediate. Again, of course, things we would not have to address if we were just getting into a virgin farmland. I can go on and on about this project. My passion and desire, I assume, is obvious. But I do think it's important for my co-developer, my wife, to give you a discussion. She is a member of the Little Bohemia Business Improvement Board, and some discussions she's had and all throughout the neighborhood and all the work she's been doing down there.
Hello again, Colleen McClay, 1323 South 12th Street, partner in crime with Tom McClay. Obviously, I'm in support of this project. I know I share Tom's passion and his careful way that he goes about this, and I feel like it's a cool project, and I hope that we can move forward today. I am a member of the BID. The Business Improvement District. I did present this project to them yesterday, and we have a lot of support. We also have a lot of questions about parking. However, I do feel pretty strongly that this is not, it should not solely rest on the developer for some of the potential parking questions, and I think that is something that we should move forward with conversations. I do know that it's important to get this passed today without any holdup, and I hope that that can happen. I'm trying real hard to not, get into the opposition, but I do feel like that is something that we've encountered with this BID since pretty much day one. And it's been hard because I think that there's this perception that we're not business owners. We're business owners as developers and as property owners and managers. And so this is our business too, and we care very deeply about it. I think that Tom's had a pretty good track record here in Omaha as far as the development that he's done. He's been very careful. In fact, there's kind of a running joke with a lot of developer friends of ours that say, why do you do what you do? It's just painful. It's hard. It's hard to do in the urban core. I grew up in Chicago, so I'm familiar with neighborhoods that can kind of come and go. And I really hope that that doesn't happen here. This is a good project, and I hope we can get your approval today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know there's a few other folks here who want to talk in support of the project. I think a few in opposition, perhaps, or some others. One final comment I did want to make. We need more housing in Omaha, desperately, and we need it to be cost-effective housing. This is something that everyone else in the country knows, and we need to learn it better here. Parking finds its way. Parking is like water. It'll find its level. It will work itself out. Every neighborhood and every major city you go to that people really want to go to, we don't have acres and acres of open parking lots. That is not what creates effective, affordable housing. This is. Thank you all.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents here today that wish to speak?
Hello, Jim Johnson, 2234 South 13th Street, the Admiral Theater. We made a really large investment in the neighborhood in '22, and I've done a lot of development up in Benson, and I would love someone to come do a project like this there. I think it's a great project, and I'm all for it.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Adrian Hernandez, President with Dundee Bank. We are at 1407 South 13th Street, so right there in the neighborhood. I'm here to voice my support for this project. I think it's important to talk about the significance of this investment in Little Bohemia in the city's urban core. I think that the project balances the renovation of the historic nature and new residential construction that fits within the fabric of the existing neighborhood. I'd also like to just say that I think this will provide an additional boost to an already vibrant business and residential neighborhood. I don't view it as being detrimental to the vibrancy that's already there. I'd also like to just acknowledge that development and progress in these neighborhoods presents new concerns and new topics to talk through. We have 4 bank branches here in Omaha. All of them are in historic buildings in historic business districts, and they each have presented their own unique challenges and opportunities that we've had to work through. Despite that, I think the development that's come into those historic neighborhoods has been a great thing. And I think that on balance, this project is a great thing for the neighborhood, and I encourage you to support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other? Good afternoon.
Hi, Patrick McNally, 1323 William Street. We actually, the photo of the corner here, if I may, we are right here. So we are super excited to see this development across the street. We have stared at a vacant lot for over 20 years, and this is just going, we could not have planned this kind of development better ourselves if we wanted to. This is just going to do amazing things to the neighborhood. We are so excited. The fact that they're keeping the historic buildings is just like frosting on top of the cake. The fact that they're doing that is wonderful. If you don't mind, my mother, who owns properties in the neighborhood too, sent you an email earlier, but I don't know if you had a chance to see it. See if I could read it real quick. As a longtime resident, I support, so she's Shirley McNally at 1417 South 14th Street, so a half a block down 14th Street. As a longtime resident, I support this project, and it should not be held up due to a real or imagined concern over parking in the neighborhood. Those can be addressed as the project is built and other interests are drawn into the area. There are many underutilized lots. The city could allow designated parking in front of each private residence to provide for their use. A task force could certainly bring this together in a sensible way. In her words, I have worked 10 years as a grant writer in small communities in mid and western Nebraska. I got 49 grants for improvements from the Department of Economic Development to save small towns. The grants totaled over $25 million. The opposition to this project reminds me of the small towns where a couple of individuals opposed new development, new ideas, and a project died, and so eventually did the town. I have heard no opposition from real residents of our neighborhood. It is exciting to see Little Bow revitalized and grow, prosperous, and an interesting place to live. I'll just add one little story, if you'll bear with me. We moved here 34 years ago into this neighborhood in '91. And as a child, we used to ride our bikes around. There's a project on 13th Street called the Bohemian Gardens. It is a wonderful place. They've got a beautiful courtyard, a 2.5-story brick building. They have weddings there. They have pizza nights on Wednesdays. It's an amazing place. Someone had bought, it was an old bar with a parking lot. Someone bought it, put up the courtyard, and as a 10-year-old, me and my friends were very upset that someone took our shortcut from the alley to 13th Street. But, we got over it in a couple of days.
I got to ask you, your time has expired.
Yeah, that's
that was
all.
a great story.
I just wanted to share that
today.
quick little story, so thank you.
Thank you so much. And for speakers, when you see those lights here right there, there's a 3-minute timer. So in the red, yellow, and green. No, you did great. Stephen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Council. Thank you. Stephen Sykes, 705 Sunset Trail in Omaha. Here to support the project and speak in support. I'm a business owner and property owner with property on 13th Street within a couple of blocks of this proposed development or redevelopment. My partners and I have invested over $3 million in the last 3 years in our properties that are within a couple of blocks, including the one on 13th, and are very excited to see the efforts to continue to redevelop the neighborhood. Part of the reason that we chose to invest in this area is related to the visioning that was done by the city on the South 13th Street corridor project. Other areas of town have seen this type of redevelopment, and we're excited about the jobs and the patronage of future residents and to the businesses that need the support, both through patrons that would approach by foot, by bicycle, and by vehicle. So thank you for your time, for the opportunity to say and share my support for the project.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents here today? Proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents here today which to speak? Opponents, you can come down to the mic.
Larry Storer, 5015 Lafayette Avenue, Omaha 68132. I'm always against TIF because I don't think you're being transparent enough. I think the citizens are being misled about TIF project. Secondly, I don't believe that area. If you want to see a blighted area, go to Northwest Hamilton Radio Highway between Hamilton and Cumming. Either side of that, part of it's Walnut Hill District, another part is Dundee District. I live very close to that area. That's a blighted area. You have an ungodly number of homeless people.
Larry, let's stick to the items on the
Excuse
agenda
me,
here today.
this is development. This is the item. And this morning you told me 3 minutes. Every speaker, 3 minutes.
Your timers, you got
Excuse me?
2:12 left.
Some of those people went on for a hell of a lot more than 3 minutes.
Those, no, they didn't.
Presenters, maybe they
Your
get a little
time's
more
running,
time.
Larry.
But I'm against TIF, and stop using my time, please. You do that every week. I'm against TIF. I'm talking about that. They get to talk about their neighborhood. I get to talk off of topic a little bit too. They're doing your job. They're doing the presenting. So let me do my presenting. That area that I just mentioned is where you ought to be spending the money. Because eventually it does come back to the homeowner to pay for that TIF expense. You guys will not admit that? Only if the bond buyers don't buy it. Well, who's the bond buyers but the real estate developers probably. I welcome you all to take a drive with me for a day around Walnut Hill and Dundee area where I mentioned it. I'll show you what blighted is. Now, how many of the people the homeowners that live in this area are maybe going to lose their property because of this development, driving their property taxes up for this development? Are you telling them that? Do you show the diagrams of that on your blighted area, diagrams on the screen? All of these nice little things that we spent more than 15 minutes listening to. I don't know how many presenters. Even presenters are supposed to be time limited, but you broke the rules again today. We'll break the rules by giving us a full, open, two-way discussion of the ins and outs of TIF so that we can support your development. I want a better Omaha, don't get me wrong, but I don't like it the way you're giving it to us. And you're encroaching on my neighborhood by designed neglect as you are in the Walnut Hill, Dundee area around Northwest Radio. Go buy it. Throw some food out to the homeless, why don't you? Develop that area first.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents here today?
Hello. Not sure which one to talk into.
You're good right there.
Okay. Hi, I'm Leah Thrasher, 1231 South 14th Street. I own the dog bar, Omaha Dog Bar. We're a dog park bar and restaurant and doggy daycare. I'm not against change. I'm not against development. I obviously own a dog bar. It's a new concept. I love Little Bohemia. I chose it 6 years ago. I love the charm, the people, the history. 14th Street is unique in that we are currently only the only customer-facing business here. And so from the start, I've always dreamt of having neighbors that aren't abandoned homes, right? So I'm not against the development, but I do have major concerns about parking. When I signed my lease in 2019, I did have to rezone. My team and I originally planned to rezone as NBD, but I was denied. So the city planners advised me that it would never pass as NBD, and I was directed to be community commercial, which I am now. But with that came parking requirements. So I'm supposed to have 36 parking requirements. I went to the zoning board and was able to get a parking waiver, which I currently have, which I'm grateful for. So even now, with all the on-street parking available, with me being the only customer-facing business, most days my customers complain about parking, even today. 99% of my customers drive, even though there are some apartments in the neighborhood. The same will be true for the proposed commercial storefronts in the Little Bohemia and the Little Bohemia Country Club. Those customers will have to drive. The row house and the apartment tenants will also have cars. And while the proposed 5-story apartment building includes underground parking, it won't cover every tenant. I think it was 58 stalls for 114 units. So that's not covering the tenants or their families or their guests. If there is not adequate parking, businesses will fail, my business will fail, people will stop coming, just like we've seen in other neighborhoods. The future businesses that go into those proposed commercial spaces will also struggle because their customers will not have anywhere to park. Oh, and not to mention the 50 new full-time employees, according to the plan. Where are they going to park? When I've asked about parking, the response I've recently received is it'll work itself out. It's like, what did he say? Parking will find its way. I've also been told it's like Chicago. Well, it's not Chicago. We don't have public transit. Everyone has cars here. I understand there's a lot of vested interest in this project, but this is mine. I just signed a 12-year lease, and I want to stay. I'm in it for the long haul. I put in $1 million to that building, and I believe in Little Bohemia. I believe in development, but I think there needs to be more time and thought into where all these people are going to go. The traffic flow creates real safety concerns. I think it's in everyone's best interest, including Clarity's, that the existing businesses here in Little Bohemia succeed.
Your time has expired. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Your 3 minutes
I was almost
is up.
done.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hempel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, members of the council. First of all, I think Tom and his team have done a great job to bring forward his development. As we all welcome growth and improvements in the area, we as businesses, new and existing, as well as the bordering residents, are concerned about how existing parking problems will be mitigated. Unfortunately, parking, traffic flow, and safety has become a major issue in the Little Bo area. As growth continues, people are parking farther east and west in the residential areas as well as down to 13th Street. This creates a problem with operating all businesses, from getting goods in and out, as well as having parking for patrons. It also takes parking away from the existing residents. What is the plan for that? The major developer has purchased quite a few parcels of land in the area. Is there a way to turn several of those properties into a multi-level parking garage to help take care of the additional parking needed for the multi-residential buildings? Is this a viable solution? Exhibit A. This photo is on 14th Street. Looking north from Hickory Street. There's 36 available parking spaces between Hickory and William. Exhibit B, William Street looking east from 14th Street. 18 available parking spaces between 14th and 13th. This photo was taken at 9 a.m. Monday morning, and they're full. Exhibit C, this is 12th Street. 12th Street looking north from Hickory to William. All spaces occupied at 9 a.m. on Monday morning. And 12th Street looking south from Briggs Street. The residents have put up cones in front of their driveways to stop the row house people from blocking them. Since a road study has been approved, why not get the results of that prior to approving the zoning changes in TIF? If there isn't a more comprehensive study, how are things going to look in 5 years down the road? Will there be a TIF tax implemented to the receipts of the businesses in Little Bohemia? With the new multi-residential, I think there needs to be more time to educate the public on how the issues will be addressed. We expressed these same concerns at the last planning board meeting. They suggested we reach out to Tom McClay and see if we could work out the issues. We did last Friday by email. Yesterday there was a Zoom call put together by the BID, which included quite a few people in the area. That was the first time any of us saw a plan. When asked what will be done about the parking issues, the answer was basically that is a discussion to be had later, or we don't know. Public awareness is important. We need more
Dave,
time to understand.
Your 3 minutes is up. I got.
Hey, wait a minute.
Your 3 minutes.
All these folks got.
You got
more
3
time.
minutes, Dave. I'm consistent across the board for everybody, and I need you to put your.
I think people should pay more attention to the time that was allotted
Dave,
for the
I've been
proponents.
consistent. 3 minutes for everybody, and can you please give your address for the record for us?
Pardon me?
Your address for the record.
1255 South 13th Street.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you. And Dave, the applicants don't have a 3-minute time limit. It's just people testifying in support and against. That's a 3 minutes. Are there any other opponents here today?
Yeah, I'm Ryan Norton with Pulverany Monument, 1439 South 13th Street. And I have a lot of parking concerns. We make headstones and monuments for cemetery products for people with deceased families. So a lot of times we have a lot of, our clients are typically older by nature. Just kind of way that works out. People bring down their grandmas and stuff like that. They have a hard time walking 3 blocks to come into our business to get something for their loved ones to the cemetery. And the parking is a lot worse. We had boho flats going across the street from us, and parking just keeps getting harder and harder, and we're just supposed to look past it. I don't see, there needs to be better planning. It was brought before the BID board yesterday with the plans, so it's kind of short notice for something that they have a lot of years and time planning. I think there should be a town hall where people can look at it ahead of time, not a day beforehand. Other than that, I think the dog bar probably should have got NBD as well. I don't think that's fair that they do and she doesn't. And that's all I got.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there any other opponents here today?
Hi, my name's Sean Coulterman. I'm at 1446 South 13th Street. And I want to start by saying I agree with what Tom, Colleen, and team have said, and I love their passion and their vision. That 20-minute presentation is exactly what they should have shared in a town hall meeting months ago. The project's been underway for 11 to almost 20 years. It seems like there should have been some time allocated to sharing the vision with the neighborhood so we could have addressed questions and potential resolutions to problems that we identify. Our masonry contracting company was kicked out, squeezed out by a developer from our last location where the city needed to build something different and new. And so we identified an industrial area of town where we could relocate on 13th Street, and now it's sort of happening again. Own a masonry company, own a restaurant, not opposed to development at all. In fact, development is the lifeblood of our business. And again, I think their vision is great. It's just premature to approve without additional planning. One of our neighbors was strong-armed is the word I heard secondhand. Why aren't you supporting the developer? To the point where she showed up shaking like a leaf, intimidated and afraid, even to be here today. I don't think that's right. I think people should be able to express their opinions and not be challenged like that. The country club community was something there were no renderings of in the meeting yesterday. There was mention of a community pool, of a concert venue. I don't know if outdoor or indoor, but something like that. Seems like there's safety issues and maybe noise issues that the community would like to know about and maybe ask questions about. Is a town hall a prerequisite for things being approved at City Council? Do we know? Anybody know? Is a town hall a prerequisite for that?
You got a minute left.
Nobody knows?
Your time's going.
Not required? Okay. Well, it hasn't happened. It seems like a good thing to happen. The parking issues are compounding. So I know some people think there's oceans of parking on 13th Street or parking's like water. But Boho Flats added 59 units with 24 stalls. This development's looking at least 155 units with 58 stalls. That leaves a shortage of 214 units, or a total of 214 units with 82 stalls. So that's a pretty big difference. Many of the units are presented as being multiple bedroom units, which commonly means multiple cars per unit. What about guests, employees, customers that the retail side is looking to bring? I don't think a 30-day holdover to answer questions jeopardizes a project that's been in the works for almost 20 years
Sean,
and
your
is an
time's
appropriate
expired.
way to respond to the community.
Thanks for coming down today. Thank you. Any other opponents?
Susan Ann Koenig, 1266 South 13th Street. Although I stand here as an opponent, it's only for you voting on this today. As I'm in the building right next door to the Golden Goose that Tom was talking about. It's where the law firm I started, Koenig Dunn, has been for the last 25 years, and also where I've made my home. It's a historic building built in 1898. So you can imagine my thrill at the possibility of this development taking place and preserving the historic nature wherever possible in Little Bohemia. I grew up in Little Italy. I went to school on 10th and William. I delivered newspapers all around that neighborhood. My heart is in this community. But it's not just in the building, not even my building, which has a mural on the back that I had done in collaboration with the entire neighborhood to show the past, present, and future of Little Bohemia. Why? Because it's been such a wonderful place to live and do business. But I care not just about my neighborhood, not my building, which is going to be maybe cut off from anyone even seeing the mural, because I don't know how these plans, I just saw them for the first time yesterday. But and I've lost my view of the sunset or the sunrise because of the development on 12th Street. It's not that. I know we need what this city is doing, which is more housing, more development in the urban core, all for it. I'm also for having people in this city feel as though the developers and this city council care about them such that they can be given an opportunity to be heard at a neighborhood meeting that feels safe to them. They're not going to show up at planning board meetings necessarily, but you have something in the neighborhood where Tom and Colleen can come and show what they showed here today, as Sean said, and answer some questions. And we're not the decision makers, but I don't think that that's too much to ask when tens of millions of dollars are being invested and many millions being asked for by the citizens. So it's not the what, it's the how. And if we want to have trust in our leadership, our civic leadership, and trust in our developers, not just for this project, but all around the city, so that people aren't just complaining about the new big box buildings, but they can see that history is being preserved, neighborhoods are being preserved, and people are being cared about. So, I think I had 20 more seconds. What else could I say to you?
Keep rolling, you're on a roll.
No, I just, we need to be in conversation. I'm also on the Little Bohemia BID. I'm deeply committed to the community, but to the people and the process and the integrity. And I know that matters to you. That's why you do this really hard job you do every
Thanks,
day.
Susan.
So thank you.
Thanks for being here today. Is there any other opponents here today?
Mike Weiland, 1631 South 13th Street. I am owner of Thomasek Machine. We're asking for a 30-day layover to get more discussion and everything on the project. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there any other opponents?
Hi, my name is Rachel Campbell, 1411 Hickory Street. I'm a business owner in the neighborhood. I own Noah Brides on 13th Street, and I also live at 14th and Hickory, so I also live in the neighborhood I work in. I just want to say that I am excited about this development, and I'm excited about the saving the historic building fronts and just bringing and revitalizing and bringing more people down into the neighborhood. I am nervous about parking, but more so, I am very nervous about the safety of 13th Street. I know that the BID, as well as Little Bohemia Business Association, has asked many times and brought people in to discuss how can we make 13th Street safer. I think there's a lot more that can be done. Traffic lights as well as pedestrian crossings, and so I'm wondering how these buildings, how that's all going to look with adding more buildings, more people living in the neighborhood, with the traffic issues that we have on 13th as far as safety. Also, I am curious about the TIF tax, if there's going to be one to our customers. For myself, I have big ticket items between $2,000 and $6,000 for wedding gowns. I also work at the Bohemian Gardens and sell weddings there between $10,000 and $20,000 a wedding. I'm curious, am I going to have to add a tax on to my customers for that, and will that hurt us as far as competition? So those are some concerns I have.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents here today?
Luis Jimenez, 2709 Dewey Avenue. I think, for one thing, this needs to be flipped around so we can see the time. The light doesn't really help. So I understand this is for TIF, which is predetermined what can be financed, like acquisition and public infrastructure. But I want to discuss affordable housing because I went through this and I did not see anything that talks about affordable housing, and the time's ticking for the council to approve the I believe the plan, affordable housing plan, is calling for 16,000 affordable housing units by 2030. And every time you guys approve a development or redevelopment without affordable housing, the math becomes harder. And so at this point, I'm comfortable saying that Omaha is not going to reach the 16,000 affordable housing units by 2030, which it's in the plan. And I disagree with the comments that says that this development it's reflecting what the community that's there. It's very packed, condensed, and you need parking. You need like a parking lot. I know that the Public Building Commission isn't doing parking lots anymore. It'd be nice if they would, but I think the city of Omaha needs to come in and do more parking garages where there is none. It doesn't make sense to build a parking garage when down the street there's a parking garage. But over here, there's no public parking like a parking garage. And I think that would alleviate a lot of the concerns that was presented today. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other opponents here today? Good afternoon.
Hello, my name is Melissa, 416 Walnut Street. I am an opponent of this TIF project on 14th and Williams. I didn't get to put anything else on the opponent side, but I am wanting to submit a proposal, not necessarily just for the project in itself, just for the idea of spending our TIF money and our tax money on ideas of affordable housing. And I say ideas of affordable housing because it's not necessarily affordable housing, but I understand the reality and then legal terms or HUD terms or whatever. But so I have these that I would like you guys to take a look at. I am proposing that we invest into homeless response encampments around North, Midtown, and South Omaha. It was mentioned before, if you drive down Northwest Radio Highway, you can see how bad the encampments get. I lived in this area off of 4th and Hickory, and there was a huge encampment.
Please stay on the issue
This
at
is
hand.
the issue because this is the area.
Okay, you're
So-
wandering out of the area though. Please stay on.
Well, no, I was talking about Hamilton because in my proposal, there's 3 sites because Omaha is one city. So we're talking about the TIF money that you're using or tax money for the city. So it has everything to do with this. So do not take from my time. That was about 20 seconds.
I'm
so
trying to be respectful
thank you.
of the issue
Anyways,
at hand.
like I was saying, you should definitely address the problem of homelessness. And with TIF money, even though it's allocated, however, you can decide to not do these projects and actually look at the issues, because how can you have a tale of two cities in Omaha and you have these areas where there's encampments of 20 to 30, 40 people, and you're going to build a luxury apartment building in that same area without addressing the issue. So as a real estate agent, that doesn't look good if I'm trying to sell these units. Can't sell them. Nobody wants to live next to like poop on the ground. So maybe you should address the issues of homelessness so you can actually raise the taxes in these areas. So that is on topic. And I do feel like my presentation was altered because of your comments. So I do think you have to stop doing that. If you don't do that to everybody, don't do that to anyone.
I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm trying to be fair.
Well, you're not.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I
anyways,
really try to
like
be
I was
fair.
saying, the amount of money that you guys are putting into these projects, if you guys maybe took a step back for a year or two, and actually put money into addressing issues like homelessness. We had a homeless person during the city budget talk about what she does. These encampments are getting overgrown. People do not want to buy in North Midtown and South Omaha. They do not want to come to Omaha and invest in these areas. So it's very hard to do my job because you can build a bunch of stuff. People are not going to live in areas that are filled with crime. And
Thanks for being here today.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents here today? Larry, you're out of line. Are there any other opponents here today? Please come down. Larry, we have a speaker up. Please be respectful or I'm going to have to get you run out of here. Ma'am, please. Can you please remove Mr. Storr, please? He's disturbing the meeting. Thank you. Ma'am, please, the floor is yours.
Hi, I have a proposal and I have copies. May I approach?
Ma'am, before your time begins, we're on items number 22, which is the TIF redevelopment project plan. And item 23 is the Little Bohemia tax incremental financing redevelopment project plan. So if your comments are on these, the 3 minutes are yours, please.
Yes, I'm speaking in regards to the taxes that are being used for the redevelopment. I have not heard anyone speak in regards to the redevelopment of the children. So my name is Tantanese Oliver. I'm a registered agent of Tanny Travel Investments, 3429 Grand Avenue. I'm proposing doing future business as the Village
Ma'am,
Roots.
I'm going to have to ask you to respectfully stay on topic.
Yes, I'm staying on topic, sir.
Okay.
As our taxes, as a taxpayer of Omaha, Nebraska, I stand before you today not just as a resident, but as someone who refuses to stand by and watch as our children slips through the cracks, and we're speaking about building new buildings. Right now in Omaha, kids as young as 11 years old can go to jail. Not because they are
Ma'am,
bad kids.
Those are very important issues, but we have to stay on the topic of items 22 and 23.
Okay, sir. So the redevelopment program that our taxes are being used for. So the redevelopment with the Little Bohemian program, that's money that we are using as Omaha citizens, correct?
No.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
That's
I
okay.
conclude, but can I propose how do I get on the agenda to?
It's got to be an item that's on the agenda when you come down to speak. You can make a request to our city clerk if you'd like.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for
Okay,
your time.
thank you. Thank you very much. Are there any other opponents here today? Any opponents? Seeing none, Councilmember Harding, you are recognized.
I think that, in my estimation, that we can accomplish both issues that have kind of been raised, at least in my mind today. One is the approval, the request for the approval of the redevelopment plans for both 22 and 23. And I've heard on numerous occasions the desire to have some sort of a meeting to have maybe a deeper dive than has not, maybe in some minds, not been previously done to this point. So I believe there is another BID meeting within the next 30 days. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's open
Yeah,
to the.
I would defer to my wife, who's the board member of the BID, Colleen, my co-developer. But I have seen online, I mean, it is by law, I believe, every single month the Business Improvement District has a meeting.
Okay. Colleen,
Yeah, it would be next month. I don't have the exact date in front of me.
Okay, but within the next 30 days.
Yes.
As kind of as I've heard a couple times requested. And so that everyone, and would you be willing to have a similar presentation like you did here? I think someone said that this is maybe the first time, or maybe since yesterday,
Yeah.
maybe that they've seen it in this detail. Would you be willing to, that's a public meeting, correct? You'd be willing
It
to
is.
By law.
have that presentation and answer the questions, correct?
I do have a question, though.
Yeah.
Councilman. There was another development down in Little Bohemia that did not
You
have
know
to go
what,
through any of this. I just.
Colleen, with all due respect, we're here talking about this issue.
I understand.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do, hold on, what I'm trying to do is see if there's a way we can get through this and satisfy all parties, okay? So hear me out, please.
Yeah, Councilor,
Hear me,
yes.
Tom.
The answer is
okay.
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you. The answer is yes?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
You know, we certainly did it already. The
Yeah.
last BID meeting, we'll do it
Okay.
again.
So the
we're
answer is
happy
yes.
to-
The answer is yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And there are other, this is the redevelopment plan stage. We still have, there are other issues as it relates to replatting and zoning that will come before us and won't come before us within the next 30 days.
Yeah,
I'm saying that because I checked with the planning department and know that, and I think I discussed that with you too, as well as the redevelopment agreement that still has to come back before us, which you also referenced. So I think what I'm proposing is that to keep this project moving forward, but knowing that you will have the meeting requested or have the similar presentation within the 30 days, and knowing that we still have other things that will come to us after those 30 days, I think we can satisfy all those things, at least in my mind. So that would be my proposal, or that's what I'm considering doing. There are some other lights on. So before I make any kind of a motion, I want to hear the rest of the council and their comments.
Thanks, Councilmember Harding, and I made an error. I should have closed the public hearing. So the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Harding, the floor is yours unless you defer.
No, I'm done until.
Councilmember Goodwin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Clearly, we've heard a lot of public commentary about parking, and I was wanting to ask our planning representative here, the planning department, about the steps that would be taken to address those concerns.
Yeah, Eric England, Planning Department. So two of the sites are basically the sites that are west of 13th Street. They will have, with the plat, there will be a rezoning to NBD, Neighborhood Business District. The site to the east on 12th and William will not have a rezoning to NBD, but that will have a PUR, Planned Unit Redevelopment. So they're a little bit different on the east side compared to the west side, even though we're discussing one large overall project. NBD zoning does not have a parking requirement. So there are several properties along this 13th Street corridor that have been rezoned to NBD. There was an opponent that earlier spoke that said their site on 14th Street was not allowed for NBD zoning. There was a time when we were not supporting NBD zoning on 14th Street, but after further analysis a handful of years ago, the department felt that it fit the criteria and was compliant with the master plan. So therefore the projects on 13th and 14th are proposed for the MBD zoning. So when you hear, some of the concerns from the neighbors about the parking, that's a challenge sometimes when you have MBD zoning, similar to Dundee and Benson. Those are two other neighborhoods, among others, that have MBD zoning. And along with that, sometimes there are parking challenges, but it is a helpful redevelopment tool, and we feel that it fits with the neighborhood. So I don't know if that answers your question specifically about parking.
Well, I think it begins to answer the question. Clearly, we want density, as we grow our urban core. However, and NBD zoning does alleviate a challenge with the developer, but how does the neighborhood then absorb the parking? What is the planning department's remedy for that?
Eric England, Planning Department. Well, we only support MBD zoning in areas that have ample on-street parking. However, as developments come along, that they need to gauge on how much parking that they need to provide. We're not in the business of necessarily designing parking garages or anything like that. Of course, we'll coordinate with Parking Division of Public Works, but that's not really the planning department's role. So I guess when we look at an area, there can be at times be parking challenges. So, we're here to listen and talk to neighborhoods, talk to the BID. If the council feels that, there's an area that's basically exceeded the amount of development that can happen, I mean, you don't need to support the MBD zoning. I'm not suggesting that, but that is a solution. So, we're here to have conversations, and like I said, at Planning Board, we're willing to sit down with the BID, the business owners, the developers, and continue to have those conversations regarding parking as well as all other zoning matters.
Thank you. I just had another statement that I wanted to make while I have the time, and that is the importance of neighborhood engagement. I check a lot of boxes as a business owner, as a starter of a BID, project developer, city council person, and you never can have enough engagement with the residents, with the business occupiers and owners, because overall this is a long-term investment. You talked about the longevity of your family within this community, and I could say the same when we talk about North Omaha, even when I talk about South Omaha, so I understand that part too. But when decisions are made and the community, the stakeholders don't feel considered, then you're not bringing forth the goodwill that in the long term makes for a healthy neighborhood, not just with buildings, but with the social and the fabric of the neighborhood. And so I really want to echo what Councilmember Harding said about that neighborhood engagement and answering the questions. You spent a lot of time with us today, and I think it just is fair that you would spend equal amount or longer with the people who are your neighbors in Little Bohemia. It is important that we preserve the character of our ethnic corridors, and I do commend you in that effort because there's few parts of the city that still remain where you can see buildings that go back into the either 19th, 20th century. So thank you for that, but I would emphasize that engagement moving forward with anything else you do, just so that you've got that buy-in. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Melton, you are recognized.
Thank you, and that's what I wanted to just confirm. There's more, the zoning and redevelopment agreements all still need to come back before the council, and they have to go before planning board as well, isn't that correct?
Eric England, Planning Department. The plating and the rezonings in PR have already been recommended for approval by Planning Board, so they would just come to City Council. But a few of the items might take some time, subdivision agreements and things like that.
Okay, so but it's going to come back to the City Council again for the redevelopment agreements. Because I think where we're at, I think with the neighbors, like with what like Ms. Koenig said, this looks great, we want you, but we want more engagement. I think we can go ahead and vote on what we're voting on today is the tax increment financing. You can have that meeting then in between our vote today on this and our vote on the redevelopment agreement, because this project's going to have to come back in front of us again for a vote on something else. So I think that's what Councilman Harding was saying, was let's not delay allowing this to move forward, but that you have the expectation to have those neighborhood meetings like Councilman Goodwin said. And you know what? You aren't going to get everybody's buy-in, and that's not necessarily, a requirement. But I think having the discussion and presenting the plans and talking about it with your future neighbors or current neighbors, actually, because you're on the BID now, I think is just a really good thing. And so that's what I'm supporting, and I appreciate your commitment to having that meeting. And I want to ask you a question. And you know that the statute that tax increment financing is based on. Would you be building this but for the tax increment financing based on the rate of return that I saw in your packet?
Absolutely not. 100% no. As I indicated before, I'm very concerned about the environmental issues that we're going to get challenged with. It's difficult to build in these neighborhoods, and that's why you see so many empty lots across our city. I was inaugural chair of the Land Bank Board, and it was so dismaying to see how many lots languished across our city. Hundreds and hundreds, specifically in South Omaha and North Omaha. That's where the concentration was, because it's difficult to develop, because it's contaminated, because they're too small to develop on.
Right.
We were fortunate to be able to acquire the self-storage site, which tragically, there was a half dozen people living within that storage unit, in tiny little storage, no plumbing, no electricity. Right. We were very grateful. Santa Francis House came in and helped us relocate those folks, find some different homes. The neighborhood had gotten so much disinvestment for so many years that it made redevelopment impossible, and
right.
It was going down it was going to continue to go down, and honestly might still continue to go down if we can't do this project without TIF without stringent, overly restrictive parking requirements that end up with acres and acres of parking lots. I have a lot of concerns, and it kind of breaks my heart, as I indicated before. We are there every day. We
Right.
office there. We're developing there. We're going to be there. We're not from out of town. We're not coming in from Denver.
And I get that. I've known you for a long time. That's why when you give me your word that you're going to have the meeting, we know that we can take your word for it, and we don't have to delay these votes.
She's a board member. We're
Right,
there all the time.
Yeah, she can't avoid it. But the reason
asking
I
us
was
nothing.
asking about the but for, there were a couple different opponents that were, I think, mistaken, thinking you're using my tax dollars to pay for your project. And so I just wanted your tax dollars, my tax dollars, nobody's tax dollars are going to this. People oftentimes think tax increment financing is the city giving the developer money. There is no money without the development. And the development wouldn't happen without TIF. So you're still going to be paying your property taxes on these property as it's set now.
Yes.
It's just the increase in property taxes that you would pay over the next 15 to 20 years goes back into the project. But you will continue to pay your property taxes as they're set on these properties now.
Yes.
And nobody else's property taxes are being used to pay for this project. And that came up a couple times today. Every once in a while, I have to give my little tax increment financing 101 because a lot of people don't understand it. When you hear tax increment financing, you think our property taxes from our city coffer are paying for these projects, and that's simply not true. Nor is there any kind of tax. I think the bridal store owner was afraid there might be a tax. There's no tax. You're not paying for it at all, or your customers or anything else. And I think Don Seaton would be more than happy to give you probably a longer explanation than what I just did on what tax increment financing is. But I just wanted everybody to know, again, this isn't the city council allocating money to a developer. And this is property that's owned by private citizens. I mean, our right to own property is one of the things our country was founded on. And so the city council isn't here to necessarily determine what we want to see built where. We just follow some zoning. We follow a master plan for the city, just so that we don't have chaotic building around our city. But this isn't something that I go, well, you know what? I really don't think that there should be maybe apartments there. I would like to see, a cafe, or I would like to see, some competitors build a law firm right next to Koenig Dunn over there. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. This you've proven that, but for TIF, you wouldn't be building. You're investing in the community. And by the way, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, I mean, you get up to 20, but I think a lot of these TIF loans are being paid off a lot earlier. So 15 years, then the school districts and the taxpayers and the city are really going to benefit from the amount of property taxes you're going to be paying in full. You're paying that full amount. It's just you're paying off the loan that helps you do this. And so it's really important that we are investing in our city in North and South Omaha in these TIF projects so that we don't lose our urban core. And having this little Bohemia area, what you're doing is just amazing down there. And I think will spur even more development. So again, though, you're not all the neighbors are going to get along. But if everybody could meet and at least talk about what you're doing, I think a lot of the people that live along there, it sounds like you have supporters, but also people that do want to talk about it. And I do think parking's going to be an issue. I mean, if parking's an issue, no one's going to rent your apartments. And so you're risking a lot of money and a lot of investment if people aren't going to move in or the businesses don't want to move in because of the parking. So maybe that's something that you and the neighbors and the other businesses in the area need to talk about exploring. How can we maybe expand parking? How can we add more parking? Is that something the BID can do? Our parking garages, the city of Omaha, we actually make money. We don't lose money on our parking garages. So clearly people will pay to use a parking garage. So maybe there's a developer that might want to build even if it's a smaller garage on a smaller scale, if you're going to have that kind of growth in South Omaha, much like we just did in Blackstone. The addition of that parking garage was fabulous. So those are just kind of my thoughts. I am concerned about the parking, but I don't believe that you would invest this much money if you thought that the parking was going to cause you from not having tenants. So that's where I kind of trust that you've got to know kind of what you're doing, or else it's going to hurt your business too. So maybe those are things that you can explore at that meeting you're going to have in the next 30 days. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Melton. Councilmember Rowe, you are recognized.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Colleen and Tom, for coming down and explaining the process that you've gone through for the last many years, putting this package together. We look at areas of town and we think, wow, that's cool. Blackstone's neat. It's a great place to go. Midtown's going to be equally as cool. Little Bohemia obviously is going to be as cool as well because of the vision that you have for it. And I just wanted to say thank you for taking the risk as a developer, as Amy said, to put a package like this together. And I'm a true believer in market dictating what's going to happen. And I too agree that the parking's, you talked about water seeking its own level. Well, those things have a way of finding equilibrium. And as Amy said, if it doesn't work, you're the one that's taking the risk, probably more than anybody on the block. And these are not affordable housing. We know that, we recognize that, we saw the package. But you know what, as Luis was talking about, we're short, and we are, but I believe supply, the more supply that we can create, even if it is market rate housing, will help with the affordability on other pieces across the city. And so thank you for putting out another 155 units plus a few more than that. So I just wanted to say thank you for your willingness to take that chance and betting on Omaha.
Thank you. I guess if you guys want to sit down for a few minutes and relax, or just stay there and we'll just stare at you. No, thank you. A couple comments. I believe it was Mr. Hernandez from Dundee Bank. He said, and I took a lot of notes, so I'm kind of paraphrasing, but he said, developments, that brings new topics to talk through. And I think that's certainly what we're doing here today. When Mr. McClay, when I got elected to the city council, he and I, maybe a year or several months ago, I went down there and I walked that area that's before us today. And I know Tom's got passion. I think that's evident with his wife Colleen here today. And you look to the north of where this is at and you can see amazing things happening in downtown Omaha. And this is a view of that great skyline. And Tom talked about his family history in Omaha and the history of South Omaha and what he wants to do down in Little Bohemia here. Mr. Hempel was here, and a lot of people don't watch these meetings, and Mr. Hempel, through no fault of his own, he didn't know about the 3-minute rule. A lot of people just don't know those things, and I don't fault Mr. Hempel. I watched a planning board meeting with Sean and Dave, and they gave great testimony. They had questions. They're supportive, but there's questions. I got a couple questions. So Mr. McClay and Mrs. McClay said they're in agreement within 30 days they'll hold a BID meeting that's open to the public to answer any questions the best they can. They've already said that here today. A question for Mr. England. When they hold that meeting, is the planning department, if they're available, would you attend that meeting to try to, it's a public meeting, so I think that would be beneficial to have somebody there from planning if something comes up that needs to be answered. Or are you guys willing to go?
Eric England, Planning Department. Absolutely. We can let us know when the meeting is. We can have a representative there.
Thanks, and I'll out you because you already said that in the planning board meeting. You guys are great, that we're glad to work with anybody, the developers and neighborhood, to answer questions because that's what we're here doing today. Tom, you've been doing this for a long time. You know everything. You educated me because I took the time. I think the people of goodwill that want to have that, Susan's back there nodding, to have that public meeting, and as Councilmember Melton said, not everybody's going to agree. I've been a union leader for years. Believe me, I understand what that's like. We have one meeting a month, and sometimes we hold other meetings to help our members understand an issue that comes up. It's a special meeting. So what's being asked, and I appreciate my colleagues, particularly Councilmember Harding, he and I have been talking a lot on this today, and we are looking for an avenue that meets the needs, number one, of the neighborhood that says, hey, we're not against the development, but we would love to have some more question and answer sessions. So I commend the McClays for saying, hey, the next BID meeting, I want to also out to Public Works Department, Mr. Stubbe, would you be willing to send a member of the Public Works Department to the BID meeting?
Yes.
Thanks, Bob. So when the neighbors and you guys have this BID meeting, anybody from the public can attend. I know there'll be passion, but it'll be respectful because I've watched the planning board meetings. I know a lot of the people here. It's like having a sounding board with subject matter experts to flush things out. Maybe everything doesn't get answered, but I appreciate Councilmember Harding that we have 30 days to have that BID meeting. Public Works and Planning will be there. I certainly will go, and look forward to answering a lot of the questions on anything with the development, what the vision is. It was great you spelling it out here today, Tom and Colleen, and I've seen it. So I look forward to that meeting. Let my office know when it is, and I know you'll broadcast it out if you can get a venue at Fizzy's or the Admiral or wherever it is to make it easy for people to attend, and we can have those question and answers at that time. So I will support the motion and the second on these two items, with the approval being that there'll be a BID meeting within 30 days. Everybody can attend. And there'll be subject matter experts that can, if there's any things that come up, we can try to answer at that time as well. No. Please come up, Sean. When the BID meeting is.
They're the third Monday of each month.
So, Madam Clerk, what is it?
They're usually at 1 o'clock. If it's a special one, if times need to be adjusted. Third Monday. Yeah, so it was just this Monday.
Ms. McClay, do you want to come down? Because I know you're on the BID board. Thanks, Sean.
Yep.
You're not on the BID, are you?
Sure.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's on the website, so I think it's littlebohemia.org. It lists all the meeting times as well as the minutes, and it's usually held in person at Beercade, too, on 13th Street.
Would you be willing to have it in the evening at 5 or 6 o'clock?
Oh, yeah.
That would
that's
be
not a
great.
problem.
Thanks. Thank you.
Mhm.
Seeing no other lights, Yeah, please. So,
23.
and that's with,
Well, you can't, you
Okay,
can't do
okay.
stipulations. They just they put it on the record, they're gonna do
okay,
it.
it's already been said publicly, so. Got a motion and a second. Thank you, everybody. No further lights. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0. Consent agenda. Any member of the city council may cause any item placed on the consent agenda to be removed. Items removed from the consent agenda shall be taken up by the city council immediately following the consent agenda in the order in which they were removed unless otherwise provided by the city council rules of order.
The public hearing on agenda item 24 was held on August 5th, 2025. Is there any council discussion? Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding. Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
The public hearings on agenda items 25 through 44 are today. If you wish to address the city council regarding these items, please come to the microphone. Indicate the agenda item number you wish to address. Identify yourself by your name, address, who you represent, if you're a proponent or opponent. I will open the public hearing. Are there any proponents here today? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding. Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 45, an ordinance to amend Chapter 11, Article 2 of the Omaha Municipal Code entitled Food Inspection and Protection. B is a request from Councilmember Bagley to postpone this item. C is an amendment of the whole requested by Councilmember Melton. D is an amendment of the whole requested by Councilmembers Bagley and Festerson.
1 week, so that we can have a full council for the vote.
Motion to lay over for 1 week. Motion and a second? We have a second? Okay, thanks. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding. Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 46, a resolution to approve the appointment of Michael Robinson to the North 24th Street Business Improvement District Area Board.
I will open the public hearing on item number 46. Are there any proponents here today? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding. Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Goodwin abstains. Item 47, an ordinance to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to DH Pace Company, Inc. for overhead door and automatic gate operator repair and maintenance services.
I will open the public hearing on item 47. Are there any proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Item 48, an ordinance to approve a streetscape maintenance agreement with Jasper Stone, 192nd and Dodge LLC for the Avenue 1 Replat 6 site northeast of 192nd and Burke Streets.
Public hearing on item number 48 is now open. Are there any proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Item 49, an ordinance to amend various sections of Chapter 55 of the Omaha Municipal Code regarding landscaping regulations and urban design code. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval.
The public hearing is open on item number 49. Mr. England.
Yes, Eric England, Planning Department. Thank you, Chairman and members of the council. This is a fairly minor update to Chapter 55 zoning code related to urban design code. Those are more editorial and reorganization of code, no substantial changes, as well as some cleanup and clarification on landscape items. Here to answer any questions. I will point out, unfortunately, there was a scanning issue, so there will be an amendment on the whole next week when this is voted on, just for those missing pages. So my apologies on that.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents here? Seeing none, is there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Item 50, an ordinance to accept and authorize disbursement from a grant award in the amount of $1,456,116 from the City of Omaha Police Foundation, Inc. to implement a drone as first responder program.
The public hearing is now open on item number 50. Is there any proponents?
Frank Peck, Chief Pilot for the Omaha Police Department, South 15th Street. I'm just here to address any questions that the council may have.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents here? Seeing none, is there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Item 51, an ordinance to approve a system license and service agreement with SIZAP, Inc. for the Restorative Justice Diversion Program Case Management System.
Public hearing on item number 51 is open.
Hi, Caitlin. Go ahead, sorry.
No, please.
Caitlin DeHelios, Director of the Human Rights and Relations Department for the City of Omaha. I'm a proponent. This is going to be a great system that will streamline communications between the the Assistant City Prosecutor that works on this program, OPD, and my department, leading to lots of efficiency and just a stronger foundation for the program. I'm here for any questions.
Thank you. Is there any other proponents here? Item 51. Seeing none, is there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Non-action items, items 52 through 67, do not require public hearing or city council consideration at this meeting, but will be placed on a future agenda for public hearing and/or vote. The reason for non-action is noted after the item on the agenda, as well as the date the item is expected to appear on agenda for consideration.
Okay. Is there a motion to go into executive session to protect the public interest to discuss litigation? Do we have a second?
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Roll call. Oh,
Good-
sorry.
Yep, Goodwin.
Okay.
Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Melton. Rowe.
And then read this.
Mr. President,
Yes.
motion passed 6-0.
Read this, Eliza. Okay. I will state for the record, the purpose of the executive session is to only discuss litigation. Executive session will include the following: the city council, the city attorney, the city clerk, and the city council chief of staff. Do I need to read anything else? Okay.
How come we didn't?
Roll call. Goodwin. Goodwin. Harding. Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President. Motion passed 6-0, 436. Okay, and then we just need. Goodwin. Harding. Harding. Hug. Melton. Rowe. Mr. President. Motion passed 6-0. Meeting is adjourned at 4:37.